All right, folks, welcome to another edition of Ranking the Songs, the top 10 songs. And look who is back. My longtime cohort, Mr. Davey Cretin. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me back, Joseph.
Oh, it's been way too long.
Yeah,
You remember the last thing that we did? I can't
no,
remember. It's
I
been a
didn't look it
while.
up either. I was going to.
Me neither. So, fill them in what you've been up to lately. I guess you've been making a lot of guest appearances as well as doing stuff on your channel. If you want to explain it and tell everybody before we get into this great journey catalog here.
Sure, thanks. My channel, Cretin Classics, I'm putting up new material all the time. In fact, my next video should be my top 10 albums of 2025. And before I tell about my guest appearances recently on some of the channels, Merry Christmas to everyone out there.
Nice.
Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, and today is Festivus. So a Festivus for the rest of us, baby. And Joseph is wearing his Santa hat. So I decided not to wear my Santa hat just so we'd be a little different. But I made the colors green behind me. So recently, I've been doing a lot of stuff on Grant's Rock Warehouse with Grant Arthur, who's known for his channel. He's been on Sea of Tranquility, and he's also on the Contrarians. And speaking of Sea of Tranquility, I was actually on Sea of Tranquility with Jack Toledano from All or Nada, according to Jack. So thanks to Jack and Pete for having me on SOT. And I also appeared recently on the great Rock Daydream Nation, from Australia, Peter Kerr's channel. So I'm here, there, I'm everywhere. And I'm back on Rock Show Critique.
All right. So we were trying to think of a band to do because obviously we've done a lot of bands over the last couple of years here,
Yes,
and this one kind of caught me. I said, "Hey, well, what about Journey? What did you think about it when we made that choice?"
I thought it was a good idea. And in fact, I even have a stack of Journey CDs right here for show and tell. Yeah.
That's a big stack there. All right, sounds good. Well, go ahead and let's take it away here. If I don't know if you want to talk about Journey a little bit before, or you just want to dig right into
Let's get right into it.
All right, sounds good.
My number 10 song is a hair under 4 minutes long. It's from 1983, but it's not from a Journey album. It's from a soundtrack to a movie, and I'm going to mention the two stars of the movie. I have never seen this movie because it's known as what they call a chick flick. John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John. The movie is called Two of a Kind, and the song is actually on Journey's greatest hits here, and it's called Ask the Lonely. So that is my number 10 song. It's an upbeat rocker with a pumping rhythmic bed from Smith and Valerie, and it allows Perry, Shone, and Kane to shine on this song. I like Kane's electric piano work a lot on this song, and the band makes you wait until a minute 45 in, after the second verse, until the chorus hits. And it's got a really sticky, sweet chorus to Ask the Lonely. Shone has an extended, memorable 40-second guitar solo. And then at the 2 minute 40-second mark, the music just drops out, and it's just a mass of Steve Perry's singing the chorus as the instrumentation slowly comes back in, first with the drums, then the rest of the guys. The last 40 seconds have shown playing an almost one note solo as Perry vamps and Kane bangs on his electric piano. This was only released as a single in Japan, and I will mention the B-side in an upcoming choice, so I'm not going to say it now. It hit number 3 on my beloved mainstream rock chart in Billboard. So it was a number 3 rock song, but it was not officially a single here in the States. Now they put it on the reissues of Frontiers as a bonus track. It should have been on the original album. I probably would have taken off maybe Back Chat from Frontiers to put Ask the Lonely. I just think it's a really good song. So that is my number 10, Ask the Lonely. Moving on to number 9, I'm going to go back a few years. Song under 3 minutes long from Journey. From the Departure album, 1980. Stay a While is my number 9 choice. And this is the song where the duck, as they used to call Steve Perry, earns his feathers. Steve's vocals are simply spectacular on this lovely ballad, as my pages fold over on each other. Smith has some smashing cymbal crashes throughout the song and some nice pop on his drumming. So I like the way they recorded Steve Smith's drums. Ross Valerie's bass underpinnings add to the tune, as shown for once, lays back on this song and lets the rest of the band carry the load. Sounds like there are strings on here, but I couldn't find any credits for strings on this song. So it could be Greg Raleigh on an ARPS Odyssey synthesizer. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, the strings or the string ensemble, the keyboard playing, add to the song. And the second half of this song soars. Even though Perry repeats the word falling a lot, the song to me takes off during the second half. I love singing along to this song, and the stark ending, the way everything sort of drops out. It's sort of like Neil on guitar and Perry on vocals and Raleigh on piano, I think. And he says, "If you just stay with me a while." I love that stark, mellow ending, and it adds to the beauty of the song. Now, there was a live version from the Captured album a year after Departure in 1981. They released a live album called Captured, and there was a medley of Good Morning Girl and Stay a While that was released as a single and hit number 55, but this was never released as a single. It's a beautiful ballad. I love it. So, number 9, Stay a While. Number 10, Ask the Lonely.
Okay, sounds good. Good start. Songs people may not be too familiar with.
And there will be many more of those.
Well, I'm starting it off with a song that pretty much everybody knows. My number 10 um, came in at number 9 on the charts, on the regular Billboard charts. It was the first single from the album, the maligned album, known as Raised on Radio. And the song is Be Good to Yourself. So I've got this song here, the up-tempo song. Not quite sure why they did not use that as the opening track on the album. That would have been a perfect way to open up the album instead of the way they did. I was shocked they played such a slower, opened with such a slower song. Didn't make a lot of sense. But
You're right.
that's definitely what my take is on that one. Obviously, Be Good to Yourself. It's in every set list ever since they wrote the song and released this album. Uh, Jonathan Cain, Steve Perry wrote the lyrics, and Perry, Cain, and Neil Schon, guitarist, are all credited um, for the music on this album. That's how they did all the tracks on this album. By then, obviously, Steve Smith was fired, Ross Valerie was fired, other guys were brought in. So, and this is like Steve Perry was credited as the producer. So Journey kind of had their own say in everything on this album, and they hit a few marks on it, and then they missed a lot on the album as well. At the time, a lot was changing. We were getting ready for the hair metal bands to take over, and Journey were, in between. They were doing their thing there. And obviously they don't fit in with that hair band crowd. And pretty much after Raised on Radio, they disappeared for a while. So number 10 is Good, Be Good to Yourself. Number 9. Are you ready for it? The fourth single from this album, peaking at number 19, written by Perry, Schon, and Kane. Still They Ride from Escape. Nice ballad. It never really got a ton of airplay around here yet. It did pretty good, reaching number 19 for a song that really didn't get overplayed like, other songs from the same album. You everywhere you went, you heard Who's Crying Now, Don't Stop Believing. But Still They Ride was something you never really heard too much. And, by then it was the fourth single, so that's probably what, the fact that it still hit number 19 though was definitely quite impressive actually. This is one they don't play too often these days, but when they do, it's a treat to see Arnell sing it. But yeah, I always had the song always was special to me. I always liked the vocal performance by Mr. Steve Perry, and yeah, no doubt that his performance on it had a lot to do with why it's landing at number 9 for me here. So that's what I got. Number 9, Still They Ride. Back to you, sir.
Cool. I would call that a deep track also. And speaking of deep tracks, gonna rewind a few years. My number 8, 4.5 minutes long, from 1983, the Frontiers album, which I do not have here, unfortunately. Gonna go with Troubled Child. This
Oh,
deep LP track was the B-side of Ask the Lonely, the Japanese only single. So the B-side of Ask the Lonely was Troubled Child. Neil Schon has some great guitar work on this song, some snaky guitar leads before the verses start, a brief hammer on solo that I wish was a little louder in the mix, and then a more explosive solo, and then he goes back to that snaky lead line that you heard from the beginning as the song winds up. As a teen, when this track came out, I thought of it as a theme song because Troubled Child. And didn't we all back then think of ourselves as troubled children? Yes, we did. Or at least I did. Perry again turns in a marvelous lead vocal here. And maybe Jonathan Cain's keyboards are a little too high in the mix. And Neil Schon's guitar is a little too low, but that's just a minor quibble for me. So my number 8, Troubled Child. Moving on, a song you already mentioned from 1986, 3 minutes 52 seconds long. The first single from Raised on Radio, Be Good to Yourself. I heard this song on the radio and I said, wow, this is such a good upbeat rock song. The record's going to be so good, it's going to rock. And then I bought the record as soon as it came out in 1986. And I was really not impressed with this record. I was disappointed with this record. But still, this is a great track, Be Good to Yourself. First single, like you said, hit number 9, hit number 2 on my beloved mainstream rock chart, number 43 in Canada, and number 90 in the UK. So it didn't do all
man.
that well in England. Let's see, where was I in my notes here? I think this song is a total outlier on the album because it's not representative on the sound on the rest of this album. The rest of this album is a lot of mid-tempo stuff, a bunch of ballads. It really doesn't rock, but Be Good to Yourself really rocks. Uh, by this time, as you were saying, I'm going to expand a little on what you said. Steve Perry had a hit solo album under his belt. He was in charge. The Duck was in charge, and he was totally quackers, I wrote down. So I think he was a little full of himself, and he convinced the other guys. The way I think of it, I feel, is that he said, look, if we get rid of the rhythm section and hire some session guys, we can make more money. Did that happen? I'm not sure, but I always felt that's what happened. He had Smith, who was with the band since what, 1979, since he took over for Ainsley Dunsbar on drums on the Evolution album, and co-founder Ross Valerie, the bass player, thrown out of the band. So they threw out the rhythm section. They did bring in a good session bass player, Randy Jackson, later known for his work on American Idol and calling everyone dog. But that's another story for another time. Uh, this tune was used over the closing credits of the 1987 Kevin Bacon bomb of a film, Whitewater Summer. And I don't even think I ever heard of that movie. And I worked in video stores, DVD, Blu-ray stores. I don't even remember seeing the cover of this movie that I found on Wikipedia. So strange. Besides the ultra catchy chorus on this song, Neil Schon has an elongated outro solo at 2:23 until the end. So for 90 seconds, he solos. So to me, that brings the song up. really good guitar based hard rock song with a catchy chorus. So Be Good to Yourself is my seven. Troubled Child is my number eight. And we have one match so far.
Yeah, I didn't expect that coming from you. I was shocked because we had talked before and you mentioned something about Raised on Radio and I thought it was for the bad, so that's why I didn't expect nothing to be on there from you. It definitely surprised me. Pulled one over on me here. Okay, so my number eight, we're gonna dig on an album that goes back, I believe, just like you said, it is the first album to feature Mr. Steve Smith on, and that's, of course, Evolution, 1979. We're going to dig into it. The first single released is what I've got here. And of course, we are talking about Just the Same Way, which peaked at number 58, which was written by Sean, Greg Raleigh, and Valerie. And this is a unique song because it was another time when the band used the vocal talents of both Mr. Raleigh and Mr. Steve Perry, and I just love the contrasting vocals here and the way this song all came together. Got a really good amount of airplay around us by here.
Same
Um,
here.
okay, good, yeah, definitely. I think when I look back on this album, probably my favorite song off the album. Yeah, I just always love this song, and pretty much that was. It's weird how these things work out. You had a lot of personnel changes in this band coming up here, and it turns out that, this one here is and this is going to be like the second last album, I believe, that Greg Raleigh plays on. So, a lot of change in Journey. This is definitely one of those bands that made a lot of changes to get to where they are, but they seem like they always kept a good core of the group together for a long period of time before changes were made a lot in the latter years, So more to come on that because we've got a lot more Journey to talk. So that was what I got for my number eight. My number seven, probably the song that more cover bands in the world play than any other Journey song. And this song hit number eight, and we are talking about Separate Ways off of the album that you're going to show there, Mr. Frontiers there,
I
huh?
don't
No?
have
Oh,
Frontiers
no
here.
Frontiers. Okay.
I thought you were mentioning another song.
Nope. So Separate Ways is what I got. Yeah, I'm serious. By us, every time see a cover band, hear a cover band, they're always playing that song for some reason. And it's hard to emulate Steve Perry, but there's some people out there that do it justice. I'll definitely say that much on it. The song is one of the songs that the band they wrote it on the Escape tour, which was pretty neat. Kane and Perry are the ones that were credited with the writing of it, and yeah, a lot of things with Separate Ways. Usually, it used to start off a lot of their concerts. So whenever I used to photograph Journey, I always missed the song because I'm more worried about taking the photos than I am listening to the song. So it kind of ruined it for me. But over the last few times I've seen them, at least they started putting it near the end of the set list, which made it a lot more enjoyable for sure. So that's what I've got for my number seven, Separate Ways. Back to
Okay.
Mhm.
My number six, I'm going to go deep, deep into the past. I'm going to look into the future. Going to the second Journey album from 1976.
Ooh.
Look into the future. The track is nearly 7 minutes long, and it's called I'm Gonna Leave You. And this track sounds like nothing else in the Steve Perry catalog because this is when Greg Raleigh was the singer and they were more of a prog rock, even jazz fusion type band. And these guys all have the chops to burn, and it shows on this song, I'm Gonna Leave You. It's a progressive hard rocker with Raleigh on lead vocals, And just listen to Ross Valerie burn on the bass on this song. And Ainsley Dunbar destroys on the drums. And Gregors also smokes on the organ on this song. And Schoen simply slays on guitar, whether he's doing a wah wah solo with or without the wah wah. And this sounds nothing like the Perry era, and it's all the better for it. I love this song, and it's also noteworthy to say that this song, if you play it back to back with a certain song by Kansas, sounds very similar. This came out first. Kansas were label mates of Journey on Sony, Columbia, whatever you want to call it back
Mhm.
then. They toured together, and the song Carry On Wayward Son, the bow now, sounds just like the main riff in Journey's I'm Gonna Leave You. Play them back to back, and you'll see what I mean. That Kerry Livgren from Kansas either stole this on purpose or it seeped into his subconscious. I don't know, but no one ever talks about it, but they sound the same. You got to play it, and you'll say, Davey Cretin, you were right. So my number six is I'm Gonna Leave You from 1976. Moving on to my number five from the Evolution album. And I'm going to put these tracks together because they're always played together. They used to open up Journey shows back in the day. Majestic and Too Late. That is my number five. Majestic is a minute and 15-second instrumental. And then Too Late, the song is just a hair under 3 minutes. It's a 1-2 punch. And you got on this album for the first time the jazzer, Steve Smith on the drums. Too Late was also the third single from the record, released in I think it was December 1979. It hit number 70 on the Hot 100. So Majestic is this scorching instrumental opener with some Smoke and Shown guitar work, and an army of Perrys are doing wordless vocals to it. Thanks to producer Roy Thomas Baker here. He stacked Perry's vocals just like he did with Queen back in the day, which I think really started with Uriah Heep, maybe with Sweet, some people say, but Journey did it too. The Cars did it because of Roy Thomas Baker doing it with Queen. Too Late is a mid-tempo rocker with some nice heft from the rhythm section of Smith and Valerie, first time working together here. Steve soars on the lead vocals, and Schoen has a sweet-ass guitar solo in the middle of the song as Greg Raleigh plinks his piano throughout the song. So my number five, the tandem of Majestic Too Late, and my number six was I'm Gonna Leave You.
Okay, nice, nice. All right. So yeah, we're getting down there now. So my number six is what you would call a classic rock gem, which came out, well, let's see, came out back in 1978. And we are talking about none other than Wheel in the Sky, another song that Journey plays to this day in concert. They've never kicked it out. And interesting how this song came to be. It's got a weird writing team to it. It's got Neil Sean, Robert Fleischman, who was in Journey for a cup of coffee, I guess you could say, and Diane Valerie, who was the wife of Ross Valerie at the time. She had a hand in writing this song. It started out as like a poem or something, which she had a hand in, so they credited her once they got the song all put together. But definitely a classic rock gem. Always loved Wheel in the Sky. It was one of the first Journey songs I ever liked. I remember hearing it on the radio back in the day, and yeah, just a great song. And that's the album that really broke them, obviously, because that's the first album that Steve Perry came in, and that was a moment that this band really needed. I mean, once Steve Perry got in there, and then Greg Raleigh probably seen the writing on the wall. He saw that Steve was gonna pretty much do everything eventually, and then he ended up departing. A couple years later down the road there, on of course departure. So yeah, he made three albums with Steve, and they co-wrote a few songs together, but I don't know what the relationship is though, but he left and but definitely a great song there, Wheel in the Sky. I always love that one. So that's my number six. My number five, this song is interesting because it's now known as the signature song for the band. But at the time, there were a lot of other songs the band had out that they always thought, were better and more identifiable. But as time has gone on, this song is they definitely the one that stands out now more than any of their songs in their whole catalog. And over time, you see some weird things happen with certain songs, and this is definitely one of them. So we're talking about obviously the number nine smash hit off Escape, "Don't Stop Believing." Definitely has grown in stature over the years, like I said. Um, Very interesting this song. If you ever listen to the lyrics, they mention the word South Detroit in it. And if you look at a map, there is no such thing as South Detroit, but it was the only way Steve Perry said that it sounded good. So they
Yep.
kept it like that. So what they did was this song is played in a lot of places, a lot of sports teams, but none other than commonly played at the Detroit Red Wings home games during the last minute of games. You would hear it come on the PA system, and they would lower it down when it got to the part about born and raised in South Detroit, and the crowd just automatically filled it right in nicely. Um, but yeah, this song has definitely grown. Like I said, only reached number nine, and obviously the same album, you had their highest charting single on it, Open Arms. But just weird how things have changed over the years with certain songs. Like I think of a lot of other groups, same situation where a song that might not have been played a lot back in the 80s even, all of a sudden nowadays, look at Give Me Shelter by the Rolling Stones. That song on my radio station, that was hardly ever played back in the day.
Now, I heard it down here
We didn't hear it a
in the
lot
city.
though. But over time now, you never not hear it. It's just crazy how certain songs have just grown. Same with War Pigs by Black Sabbath. It always used to be like Paranoid and you know, s-
Iron Man.
yep, those were the two big ones.
Yep.
And now War Pigs seems to be the go-to signature song for Black Sabbath. So it's just weird how things have definitely changed on certain things over the years. That was my point there. So yeah, so number five, "Don't Stop Believing." That's what I've got.
If I could just add
Oh
two
yeah.
quick things.
Hmm.
Of course, it was in the final episode of The Sopranos
Aha, yes.
and also on the TV show Glee. And that's all I'll say on it.
I didn't watch Glee, but that's interesting. Yeah.
Neither did I, but I know that through osmosis.
Okay, Ozzy. No. Yeah, we're getting down. There's four songs left. You gonna surprise us some more here?
Yes, I am on this next one because this next one comes from 1980, almost a 6 minute song. And this is technically
Minutes.
the last song or the last album that Greg Raleigh played keyboards on, sings backing vocals on. It is the soundtrack to the Japanese movie Yumi Yumi no Ato, called in America Dream After Dream. And I am choosing Little Girl, one of the three songs with vocals on the album, six instrumentals and three vocals on the Dream After Dream album. I definitely heard this song, Little Girl, on New York City rock radio, late 80, early 81. It never charted on any charts, and I never saw the LP in the stores. So I looked it up to see if it ever came out here, and Discogs
Mhm.
has it as a cassette and an LP and even promo LPs. So it was released in America, but I don't remember seeing the record in stores because it was a soundtrack to this obscure Japanese movie.
Hmm.
But it's a really good song. And I would say it's a mini epic in progressive, it's like a progressive rock tinged ballad with exquisite playing from all five of the band members here. Shone has a mint solo midway through the song, and there's definitely orchestration here because, pardon me, it's on a soundtrack. to this very little known Japanese film. The main attraction to this deep cut, Stevie's soul stirring vocals and Sean's guitar playing. So, Little Girl, if you don't know it, check it out. That's my number four. And then my number three, I'm going to the big boy,
Uh-oh.
Escape from 1981. But I'm choosing a deep track on side two,
Ooh.
the 5.5 minute mini epic once again. I'm going for Mother Father as my number three song. It's a slight throwback to their more 70s progressive rock oriented roots. Perry once again steals the show with a majestic, pun intended, vocal performance. It's great hearing Ross Valerie's bass pop through the massive mix here in this song, and Neil peels off some blazing solos about two-thirds of the way through. Steve Smith on drums also adds some stellar drum flourishes right before the 5 minute mark as well. You got to come for Steve's vocal performance, but stay for the song that the band builds around Steve here. Drummer Dean Castronova has been singing this one live for many years just to give Arnell a break when they do it, when they have their shows nowadays. However, no one could touch the beak and the peak of the Mother Ducker, Steve Perry on lead vocals here. So my number three, Mother Father. Number four, Little Girl.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah, I've actually seen Dean sing that one live. He does it great. Yeah,
He does it
he's,
really well, but not as good as Mr. Perry did it back in the day.
but the fact that they do play it once in a while still in concert is a cool thing, though, for sure.
Yep.
No doubt about that. Well, who can top Steve Perry? Come on now. I mean, when he
Very
was
few.
when he was in his prime, nobody could top him. Nobody. So there you have
Maybe
that.
maybe Robert Plant, maybe Freddie Mercury, but
At least not in doing his own songs, though. That's definitely. I know exactly what you're saying there.
one of
All
a
right.
kind voice.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we're getting down here. So I got four. My number four. Four songs left. So number four is the old standby track from Frontiers, ballad, written about life on the road and being a touring musician, solely written by one man, Mr. Jonathan Cain. And we are talking about none other than Faithfully. Yeah, it's one of those songs you probably heard a million times on the radio, and many people, I don't know, I just never get sick of it. When I like a song that's played as much as some of these songs are, and if I'm not sick of it, then I just love it. I mean, that's just the way it works for me. I mean, and believe me, from other episodes, when I get sick of hearing a song, because I won't even talk about it half the time. But for this some reason, this song just has done something to me. I just always loved it. I think it's the combination of Perry's vocal performance, the lyrics that Kane wrote, the combination of the two just really bring this song, propel it right to the top of the rock here, the top of the ladder here for me. So that's why I've got this one here at number four. I was surprised it only peaked at number 12, surprisingly, actually.
That is surprising. Could I also add Neil Schoen's guitar work in that song? He has a really tasty solo
Oh
that
yeah.
add to the track for me.
I think overall, the track is I just love it all the way around. The whole track, beginning to end, the instrumentation, the whole nine yards. I think they hit it out of the park on this one. But we still have three songs better though than it. So that's interesting. So my number three is next. And probably if you listen to my last few songs here, when you hear my number three, you probably wouldn't be expecting it. So I'm gonna go back into Escape, a song that's still played in concert to this day. Um, the writing team of Perry, Shone, and Kane once again was never released in a single as a single in the U.S., but it was in the UK. So it never got charted, except on the beloved Davey Cretin U.S. mainstream chart, where it reached number 13. And we are talking about the fantastic Stone in Love. Just love this song. Definitely one of my favorite Journey songs. Never get sick of it. Just a great standard, and they usually play it early on in the shows, which really helps, get the crowd going. So Stone in Love is just definitely one of these songs that I've always enjoyed, always loved, and I didn't know where it was going to fall exactly. So I'm actually kind of surprised it fell as high as it did, but that's good. That's a good thing. It's a great song, no doubt. All right, so there you got Faithfully at number four, Stone in Love number three. That's going to leave two songs for you and two songs for me.
And my final two are both deep tracks.
Oh boy. Let's see how
Where's
deep.
the album?
Yeah, let's see how deep you go here.
I'm going to 1980s Departure.
Ah, okay.
And on the original album, side one, track four, if memory serves, a hair over 5 minutes, People and Places is my number two Journey song.
Wow.
And I would say this is another progressive rock adjacent song with great organ work from Greg Rowley. And you get lead vocals here from Neil Schon and Steve Perry. So this song is totally whack. It's an awesome song, though.
Mm.
I wrote down it's a moody, brooding bastard of a masterpiece to me. It begins almost with vocal rounds that sort of remind me of Gentle Giant or any of the other proggy bands
Mhm.
from Schon, Perry, and Raleigh alternating vocals. Then Schon takes over the lead vocals. Perry comes in at the 53-second mark, and his voice is just pure perfection here. I love the dichotomy of Schon and Perry's vocals on this tune because they sound so different. It's really good. At the halfway point, Smith ushers in the whole band for about 30 seconds. You get a nice call and response section with Perry doing the lead vocals and then Schon doing some very cool backing vocals before the band kick back in again. And Neil peels off another ace solo from the 4 minute to the 4:32 mark. Then you have Greg Rowley's brooding organ return until the song fades out. Awesome, another masterpiece. My second favorite song. It's a really deep cut. People and Places. No one ever talks about it. They did perform it on the Departure tour in 1980. So there is video footage on YouTube of them doing it. So check it out. Great song, People and Places. Then my number one is another deep track from the Frontiers record. 4.5 minutes from 1983. Edge of the Blade is my
Ah.
favorite Journey song. I thought it was People and Places for years, but Edge of the Blade edges it out. Pun intended there. You get Schoen's sizzling six string playing, and that makes the song for me, along with Perry's angry vocals. A couple of times in their career, you hear Steve Perry, and there's some grit and there's some anger to his voice, and it definitely shows in Edge of the Blade. And I would say the other one is maybe Line of Fire is another song he sounds a bit angry on. Another
Okay.
great song that didn't make the cut, sadly, for me.
Mm.
A minor quibble I have on this song, once again, the production by Mike Stone, who sort of didn't do the best job with the second Asia album, and Kevin Elson here. I think Kane's keyboards are a little too high in the mix, and Schoen's guitar work is a little too low in the mix. Just a minor quibble here. I'm blaming it on the producers. But for those who doubt Schoen's guitar prowess and aren't interested in hearing any of the pre-Steve Perry albums, and there are a lot of people like that, no Steve Perry, no Journey. This is the song to hear, Edge of the Blade. The rhythm guitar on the verses, again, it's a bit buried beneath the quagmire, but his guitar solo at the 2 minute mark, I wish it would pop a little more. The whole second half of the song, when Perry's not singing, Schon has some stinging lead guitar work. I love it. Edge of the Blade, my number one. People and Places, my number two, baby.
Wow, yeah, definitely. I did not see those coming. Those are definitely I'm not too familiar with People and Places because for some reason Departure was just one of those albums that I just never really it was one of the last ones I got by the band. So that probably had a lot to do with it. I got to dig deeper on that. I'll have to admit that one. So yeah, but Edge of the Blade, I'm pretty sure I seen them do that one live
Wow.
before. I'll have to go back in my records, but I believe they did. I'll have to check on that, but I thought could have sworn they did it for sure. But yeah, great pick on that one. I'm not, like I said, I
Thanks.
wasn't too familiar with that one, but man, yeah, you drew some curveballs there. I would never have expected about five of those songs that you threw out there from your top 10.
And
So,
so far, we only have one match. I predicted three
well,
before we started taping. So let's see after our honorable mentions how many we match up.
all right. So number two for me, I'm digging into none other than Infinity once again. And this time we've got the two songs that get played together on the radio a lot. There's the album cover. I've got Feeling That Way and Anytime, which are just two gems. I love the way the radio plays them together. Actually, I was a guest DJ once on a radio station here in Buffalo, and I got to play those two songs, so it was pretty cool. And
Nice.
obviously, it was the first album with Steve Perry. So there's two songs, even though they play them together, they were definitely have different set of writers for each. Now, Steve Perry, Greg Rowley, and Ainsley Dunbar, oddly enough, gets a writing credit on Feeling That Way. And then for any time, we've got a batch of people here. Greg Rowley, Roger Silver, Robert Fleischman, Neil Sean, and Ross Valerie. So a lot of people had a hand in writing that. And it's interesting how both those songs clock in at the same amount of time, too. Interesting, 328 each. So that was another interesting thing. Not sure what the idea was of who decided to pl put them together and played them first. You never know, there was a couple songs like that and back in the day that all of a sudden ended up being together. Like you always hear, "We Are the Champions" and "We Will Rock You." That's another example right there.
Led Zeppelin, Heartbreaker, and Live and
Living,
Love and
loving,
Made.
made. Yep, yep, exactly. So,
Just a woman.
so just love those two songs. I love Raleigh's voice, and then adding Steve Perry in the mix. Man, oh man, just a great, two great songs that I've just always enjoyed. And so I don't know if you saw that one coming, but that one is definitely, it's a song that a lot of Journey fans know, but it never really got a lot of airplay. So, only way you ever hear it nowadays is on like a classic rock station. You don't really hear it like when you go out to the supermarket, more than likely you hear most of the standard pop songs or, stuff like that. So number one, you
But they
thought,
did always, even, excuse me,
yeah,
even in New York City, they played those as a tandem tag team on FM rock stations here too.
okay, yeah, that's what I liked about it. That was one of the great things about that song for sure. All right, so now number one. All right, so this one is definitely going to throw you for a loop. You did not see this one coming. We're going to dig into an album that we have yet to talk about.
Hmm.
And it was the band's first album with this singer. And this song peaked at number 9 on the Billboard AC charts, giving this band Journey their first top 10 hit in 12 years, staying on the charts for over 23 weeks. It's written by one man. He gets the lone credit for it, just like he did on Faithfully. And then we're talking Jonathan Cain. And we are talking about the tender, gorgeous, juicy ballad of After All These Years from Revelation.
Wow.
Yeah. A
That's a
non a
surprise.
non Steve Perry song, folks. Shoot me now. Sorry. I just love this song from the moment I first heard it. And over the years, it's definitely just a fabulous song I've always loved. And even in a couple of years ago, I seen Journey, and Jonathan Cain does like a little medley of instrumental songs during the show. And this was one of the songs he played like maybe 30 seconds of on the keyboards there. And it's just a shame they didn't play the whole song live. But yeah, this song, it's just I just love the lyrics. I love the vocals, the phrasing of the vocals by Arnell. Definitely my favorite Arnell Pineda song by a mile. There's no contest on any other one even being this close, obviously. Um, so, like I said, shoot me now. That's what I got for my number one after all these years.
Oh, a song that beats Steve Perry. Holy cow, that's a shocker.
I knew I'd
You
shock
got
you.
me there. Wow.
I out Cretined you
You did.
so
Okay.
far.
That was a surprise. Should I mention my honorables now?
Oh, I think it's time. I can't wait to see what we got here.
Okay, from 1982, another song not on a Journey album. And I don't even think it's on any Journey albums to this day. Little over 3.5 minutes long. From the soundtrack to the original movie Tron, I have the song Only Solutions.
Wow.
And this was played on rock radio. I heard it back in the day. It's a nice, crisp, melodic, mid tempo number, only on the aforementioned soundtrack. Oh, and it's also on the Journey box set, Time 3, Time Cubed, or just Time, whatever you want to call it. It's got a good chorus, laid back instrumentation until Neil plays a brief solo from 2 minutes to the 2:12 mark. And then again, he comes back at 3:08 at the 3:08 mark with another guitar solo until the song fades out. So if you haven't heard it, really good song to check out. Only Solutions. My next honorable mention goes back to the very first LP from 1975, Side 1, LP 1, track number 1 of A Lifetime. Little under 7 minutes. You got George Tickner playing rhythm guitar, and he also co wrote this marvelous song with Greg Raleigh and Neil Schon. Greg turns in another great vocal performance, which I didn't mention on the other song, I'm Gonna Leave You. He just wails on that song, and he does a really good job on this song, too. And Neil Schon shines on lead guitar. This is absolutely prog with a capital P. You got Schoen's hooky guitar work throughout, and that makes the song. But all the other musicians fare very well on this song, too. Dunsbar's drumming, Valerie's contrapuntal bass work shine also. So, Of a Lifetime is my 14 if we're going 15 down to 11. Number 13, From Infinity. I'm finally touching this album
Hmm.
with the really good hard rock song, 3 minutes long. La Do Da is my number 13 here. Roy Thomas Baker stacks New Boy Perry's vocals, and Schoen has some fiery fretwork on this stomping rocker. Dunsbar proves his metal, Mettle, and metal, Metal, with some cool drum work on this song. And this is his last album, his fourth and last album with the band on the drums, Mr. Ainsley Dunsbar. Great journeyman drummer. No pun intended. It just came out that way. I didn't even have that down in my notes. I was freestyling. Next, we're going to go to that record, Raised on Radio.
Wow.
Again,
Wow.
although there's too many songs, 11 songs here, and most of them I don't like. I do like this song, which was the third single, and it's a gold single in the US, which is very strange because it only hit number 17 on the Hot 100, number 9 on the mainstream rock chart, and number 60 in Canada. I'm talking about Girl Can't Help It. 3 minutes, 50 seconds long. And I wrote down Randy Jackson, who plays bass on the record, has a really cool bass line throughout the song, which I think helps make the song. And Neil Schon can be heard on this song too on guitar. He peels off some nice solos throughout, and Perry stacks his vocals since he basically produced the record. He stacks his vocals to the heavens, and he just flies on this song. You got an excellent chorus on this little nugget, and I always dug the a cappella ending. So Girl Can't Help It actually is number 12. Then my last honorable mention is from the Infinity album. And this could possibly be my favorite Journey album. I'm going with the mini epic, 5 minutes, 4 seconds, buried at track number 8 out of 10, Winds of March. And this is a little prog infused gem of a song. Perry excels here, as does Schoen's guitar presence. This song bridges their progressive past with their forthcoming AOR future, I wrote down. Rowley rocks a nifty organ solo halfway through the song that gives way to a dynamic extended Schoen solo. The song calms down, winds down, and ends in a mellow manner like it began. So it's a journey, pun intended, from the beginning to the end. Winds of March, great song, deep cut from the Infinity album. Those are my five honorables.
Wow. All right, let's see if we match up any more. So far, we just got the one, right?
Yeah, be good to yourself of all things.
Well, I've got number 15, my first honorable. We're going to go back to Infinity once again. And we are going to talk about none other than Patiently, which was the first song that Steve Perry and Neil Schon ever wrote together. And never was released as a single, so it's really a deep cut. Not quite sure if I heard it on the radio much, if at all. But when I got when I got the album, obviously that's where I've always loved this song, and it definitely stands out as one of the better Perry vocals on the first album. There, I just because it's more of a kind of a ballad. Just always loved the whole song in general there. So number 15 is Patiently, and my second honorable mention, which will be my number 14, is going to go back to Raised on Radio, 1986. This song was the fourth single from the album, peaking at number 14. And we are talking about I'll Be All Right Without You. Probably got more airplay than any of the songs on the album, at least here. I know it, it was the fourth single and everything. But for some reason, radio here really loved that song. They used to play it all the time. I don't hear it anymore these days unless I play it myself. But I've always enjoyed that one. It's definitely one of the Steve Perry vocal performances that I've always loved, and it's kind of a change in style for them a little bit there with that song. Definitely, when I first heard it, I don't remember. It didn't remind me of being a Journey song, but once Steve started singing it, you know, he won me over with it because the style was a little different, but it was catchy. And that's the reason why I like that one. Just a catchy song. So that's my number 14. My number 13. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think we got a match. Bingo. Ask the Lonely. Oh, I thought maybe we didn't have another one. And now, yeah, we do. And just like you mentioned, it's only on the greatest hits, or if you happen to have a copy of the Two of a Kind soundtrack somewhere in the Lost Classics there, that's where you'll find it. And the Perry Kane composition, um, just very catchy with the keyboard intro. I've seen them play this one many times in concert, even to this day, and I just love it. I think it's one of their best of the rockers from the band, you know, kind of like in the same vein as Be Good to Yourself, in that vein with the up-tempo keyboard and everything.
Mhm.
So that's what I got for my number 13. We got two more to go here. So number 12, we're going to go all the way. Yeah, we're going to take you all the way, which goes back to the album with Mr. Steve Augeri, folks. Do you remember him?
Mr. Tall Stories himself.
Exactly. And we're talking about Arrival, which came out in 2001. The album it comes from reached number 22 on the AC charts in the Billboard. And this is my lone representative here from the Augeri era. But I've always loved this one. I mean, obviously, he had a couple other ones that were on my list initially, but when you have to pare down the list, a lot of them have to fall off. but not this one. This one stayed on here. Interesting. This one was written by Neil Schon, Mr. Kane, Steve Augeri, and Taylor Rhodes. If you're familiar with Taylor Rhodes, he's got a pretty long resume here of songs that he co-wrote, and two of the bigger ones were with my boys from Boston, Aerosmith, and of course he co-wrote "Crying," which was a major smash for the band, and "Blind Man," which was kind of like a B-side that hit on big ones, which was like a greatest hits type album. And he also had a hand in writing a few other songs. Another one I'll mention by name, "That Don't Satisfy Me," which was by Brother Kane, if you remember that, Damon Johnson's
Oh,
band,
I
who's
remember that band.
yeah, who's now in Leonard Skinner. So interesting, yeah. So this guy wrote with a lot of people, and he's had a lot of pretty good, pretty nice resume. So it was weird for them to work with Journey, though. Uh, but I just love this song. Definitely all the way. Definitely my favorite of the Augera era here. So we're gonna end it on a song that everybody knows. It's the band's highest charting song. Peaked at number two. Escape. We're talking Open Arms. Interesting note about this one is that Jonathan Cain and Steve Perry were the co-writers, and Cain initially started to write the song when he was in the Babies, but he just never could finish it. So brought. I think if I'm not mistaken, there was some thing wording out there that John Waite did not care for it. Um, I read it somewhere about John Waite not being a fan of the song, and it's funny how Cain takes it with him into the journey. Yeah, and it makes the highest charting Journey song that the band ever had. That's just odd. Another one interesting here. It stayed at number two even after number one got swapped. So it was held off number one by two songs.
Wow.
Mr. Peter Wolf and the Jay Giles Band with the classic Centerfold, and Ms. Joan Jett, "I Love Rock and Roll."
Oh,
Those two
interesting.
songs are the two songs that kept this song from being number one. Yeah, definitely interesting. I love both of those two songs. So it was definitely surprising. So there you have it. There's my honorable mentions.
Wow, so we only had two matches.
That is hard to believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you got a lot of bang for your buck, folks.
Yeah, so definitely I was waiting to do this one for a while here. It's got out the guitar there.
My balloon guitar.
Well, at least you don't bring out the one like that Tom Jennings does. He'll start bringing it out and start playing it. All right, so there we have it. There's our top 10 Journey songs along with those great honorable mentions. Highly recommend. I'm gonna dig back into some of those songs that Davey brought up here because there's a few of them that I never really paid much attention to. So by him mentioning these songs now, it's making me go, "Hey, I got to go check these songs out." Because if he likes them as much as he does, that means I'm probably going to like them too.
Nice.
So, yeah, thank you for that. That's definitely, I'm always love it when people turn me on to music that maybe I just never paid attention to. Even though I have the albums, it's weird when that happens, but hey, folks, it happens. I mean, nowadays, most people stream, so they're pick and choosing songs anyways. You're not listening to whole albums a lot of times.
And I play my CDs in the car.
Yeah.
That's where I still have my CD player.
I wish I had a vehicle with a CD player in it. I miss those days. All right, so there you have it. So, thank you for coming aboard and doing this episode. It was great. Anything you want to mention there, before I let you go, just to remind people where they'll be, what you got upcoming or whatever.
Okay, well, thank you for having me on Rock Show Critique again. And we'll have to get together with the gang next year and do a big show, big panel show on the channel.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some new panelists on here as well.
Ooh, we could do that. That's possible. And And check me out on Cretin Classics, my YouTube channel. My next video up is going to be my top 10 albums of 2025. And check out, Joey just put up his favorite 10 concerts from 2025. So check that out right here on Rock Show Critique.
Oh, what advertising? I'm gonna hire you as my PR guy. All right, Davey, thanks a lot for coming aboard, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye bye, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.